everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a reading vlog for the Merry and Bright Readathon. So I did not originally anticipate to participate in this readathon, especially because the past couple months, like mostly October, November, I was not really in a reading mood, but this time of year always kind of makes me want to read more because it is just like so cozy and I'm in a reading mood for sure. Actually, last night I finished Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I just have the dust jacket. I was actually doing a reading vlog during my finals week, which I did do a couple clips for where I was reading this and I read some like Christmas novellas, but I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just do a reading vlog for this instead because I was in the middle of finals. So I did record a bit, but not that much. But speaking of that, this is my first official day of like break, which is why I woke up so late. It's actually 3:30 right now because I didn't even wake up till 1 p.m. But it's okay because it's my first day of a month-long break. I'm so excited. I am just going to chill and I'm just in such a reading mood. I'm really excited. But I survived my first semester at college and I did pretty well. I was not really overwhelmed. My mental health was actually better than it normally was because I get seasonal depression from like October to definitely towards the end of the year. Like I'd say it probably dies off a little bit in December and then picks back up in January, February. But this year was really only October for about 3 weeks and then I was able to like break out of it, which I've never done before, which is really, really nice. But I have had a really good semester, but I'm excited to be on break. So yeah, as I was saying, I was reading Rock, Paper, Scissors and I finished it last night and bro, I gave it 4 stars because I wasn't like really actively feeling like the want to pick up the book. I think it's because I personally realized I do not like British thrillers and I was listening to it on audio because with college and everything, I just need audio. And especially because of finals, I was like walking around places and going to finals and stuff. So I was listening to the audiobook a lot and the narrator was British, which I didn't really jive with. I really just don't like British thrillers like that. But this one I did like. As I said, I gave it 4 stars, but I think it kind of inhibited me, especially with the British narrator. I think if I was reading it physically, it wouldn't have bothered me. But the end had me shook, okay? The ending is absolutely insane. My brain reeling. I was literally just listening to the audiobook and like cleaning up like and unpacking and everything. Every 2 seconds I was like child. Anyway, so it was absolutely insane. I really did like it. It was really, really good. But that's kind of irrelevant to this vlog because we are starting the Merry and Bright Readathon starts today. I did kind of make a TBR. I do want to try and do one book per prompt. There's one prompt I haven't decided yet because I don't know what kind of reading mood I'm going to be in. The first prompt is read a book with white on the cover, and for that I'm going to be reading The Grownup by Gillian. I have it checked out on Libby and it's super short, and this cover, the one that I have, you can see it's like white. Back in the day I heard about The Grownup a lot, like in the beginning of book 2, but I wasn't reading adult books as much then and stuff like that, so I didn't read it and I didn't know it was a horror. But it is a horror, and again, it's like literally an hour and 17 minutes. So that's literally gonna take me 20 something minutes to read. So I'm gonna definitely read that one today. And then for cozy vibes, I chose Good Girl Bad Blood because there's a couple books this year that I really, really, really liked and I want to put them on my favorites list or honorable mentions. So I'm doing top 10 and then I'm doing 5 honorable mentions. And Good Girl Bad Blood I loved, but I read it during the Bookathon, which was crazy because I was doing a live show when I was reading this and all my friends were getting hella subscribers, reaching milestones. So I feel like I wasn't really focused on it and I literally don't even remember the twists or anything. So I definitely want to reread this, and I have a couple other ones that I would like to reread too. Already Owned is the one that I haven't set a book for yet. I'm kind of in a fantasy mood and none of these are fantasy, so I might put a fantasy for that, which is like, who is she? Not a fantasy. But I've been in a little bit of a fantasy mood. Then for purchase last year and never read, I'm going to do Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. I'm pretty sure I purchased it last year. But I want to do a like guide to Tiffany D. Jackson, and I only have to read Grown and then her newest book, White Smoke. I already know that I'm probably not really gonna like White Smoke, but Grown I feel like I'm really gonna like. That's kind of like the one that I've been looking forward to the most. And then for Enemies to Lovers or Unreliable Narrator, I'm doing another one of those rereads, and that is Dear Ava. I really liked this book a lot, but I was reading a lot of new adult books back to back to back to back. So this one kind of got muddled in there, especially because it has like a note writing element, which is also in Punk 57. And I read these two really, really close together. So I love both of them, but I got them a little bit confused with each other. So I've already reread Punk 57 because I loved it. So Dear Ava, I really want to reread because I feel like it is a favorite of the year, because I remember loving it, but it's just getting muddled in my head with the other new adult bully romances I read in, I think it was June or July. I read like 4 like back to back, and it was just too much. And then for dual perspective, I want to read Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. This one I'm probably going to start today as well. I know Amanda from Ginger Snapped Reads, she has a Sugar and Spice book club, and their November book was actually Window Shopping, which is a newer holiday romance that came out in October. And I haven't read a Tessa Bailey before. I do really want to read It Happened One Summer, but I'm like not in the mood for that because it takes place in the summer and there's no audiobook for it, but I have the ebook, so I'm going to try and read that. The book club discussion is, what day is it? Is today Friday? No, today's Thursday. I was like, it's literally tomorrow. No, it's on Saturday. So I need to try and read that. I think it's pretty short, but I want to try and really focus on that. I will definitely tell you guys the synopsises of all these books when I get to reading them. I just wanted to kind of go over my TBR a little bit. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do for already owned. It depends on if I'm in like a thriller, romance, or fantasy mood. I think I'll probably be in the mood for like his fantasy or historical fiction, honestly, because none of these are that. They're all like thrillers and some romance. I actually have therapy at 4:30 and it is 3:40 right now, so I have an hour. It's virtual and everything, but I tried to get a therapist earlier this year, like in January. I didn't really vibe with her. I only had like a couple appointments and then I just was kind of ended it. And then I did not have a therapist all the way until like the beginning of November. And I love my therapist. I see her like every week because I love her so much. And she's just helping me. I feel like I've just had a lot of personal growth this year, unlike anything that I've ever experienced before. I think it's just like the age that I'm at. I've just had a lot of personal growth, developments, realizations. I'm way more self-aware of myself than I ever was. Yeah, I think that talking to her about it all has been really, really helpful. I probably will have a little bit of time and actually have some clothes on the floor over there. I put away all my clothes that I brought with me from college. I put those all back, but I actually brought like a hamper of just dirty laundry, so I did that and I brought it up last night, but I didn't put it away yet. Those clothes on the floor are clean. I was just digging through it to find these clothes, so that's why they're on the floor. But I am gonna put those away while listening to the Grownup, hopefully. But I forgot, I have some stuff to show you guys. Ooh, I have some letters and packages and books and stuff. So for my birthday, I actually got sent some books. Nicole from Who Picked This Book, talk about her all the time. We host a book club together. She's one of my first booktube friends. Love her. She sent me Hunger Like No Other by Cressley Cole. And this is like a paranormal romance. There's vampires, there's werewolves, there might be witches. It was on my wish list, obviously. And then the other 2 books that I got sent were from Sarah's Shelves. They're actually downstairs because I brought them to college and then I brought all my books back. So I need to actually organize that today as well after therapy. And then I forgot to also say that at 8 p.m. tonight, I'm doing Patreon live reading sprints with Sydney from Sid Bookworm. She asked me and a couple of the people to like join and be on the live with her. So I'm going to do that. And that's when I'm going to try and get a lot of window shopping reading done. But as I was saying, Sarah sent me A Dowry of Blood, which I'm really excited for because Jan from Jan Agaton talks about it all the time. And then she sent me Kingdom of the Cursed because I loved Kingdom of the Wicked. So I am really, really grateful for the books that they sent me. And then I got sent some letters. So Julianne Lindsay is a cozy mystery and romantic suspense author. So she just sent me like a little Christmas card with her books and stuff. So I wanted to show that. Then obviously Nicole from Who Picked This Book, she has this book club called Who Picked This Book Club, and it's her and her friend Jen, who Jen doesn't have a channel or anything, but she just sent me this little card, and it says, have a cozy Christmas with the people who feel like home. And there was a Christmas tree ornament in here, but I already put it on the Christmas tree because it's so cute. Then Bree from In Love and Words just sent me this little Happy Holidays card, and it says, Deja, hey college girl, I hope you have a fun holiday. XOXO Bree. And this little sticker that says proud to be a romance booktuber. I love her stickers, and I love how this one has like sparkles and it's kind of holographic. And then I ordered a book. I haven't really ordered books in a while, but I got Drag Me Up by R.M. Virtues. R.M. Virtues, I watched him on a live show on Nicole's channel, and I loved his energy, and I really wanted to support him, so I bought his book. This is like a Hades and Persephone retelling, I believe, romance retelling, and I just really wanted to support him, so I bought his book. And lastly, I got my book of the month, so I wanted to unbox that with you guys. I don't really remember what I got. I know, I'm pretty sure I just got 2 books, because this box is small. So I got A Flicker in the Dark. This was a thriller that I was really anticipating for 2022. I don't really know that much about it, but I was like trying to go through it and do a most anticipated releases list. And when I saw this one, I was really anticipating it. So when they had it a month early, because it comes out obviously in January, I decided to pick it up. And then because I'm a book of the month, like, I don't know what it's called, like the member, when you're like a member for like 12 months or something, you get like the tote bag and you're like the special member. I forget what it's called, but I got one of the free top 5 finalists, and I chose Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby because I've heard good things about this, and it's like a thriller, but it has social commentary. I also forgot to say that I might not be able to organize all my books today, or at least not organize all of them before the live sprints, just because I told my mom I would go to the store for her, so I'm gonna do that after therapy. So we have like a lot going on this afternoon, which is like kind of cute. I love that. But I am about to run out of space on my camera. I have to delete some stuff, so I am gonna go, and I will talk to you guys later. The lighting situation in this room is so bad. It's just, I like my room to be dim and moody, and that's not good for filming. But I did want to update you guys because it is 12 now, like it's midnight now, and I did not get done the things I said I was gonna get done. I did put away like half my laundry, but I did not start on anything bookish, like putting the books away at all. I just did not have time, but that's like a venture that we can do maybe tomorrow or the day after, because I do need to get everything set if I want to start filming videos. I have to get things together, because the room is like a mess. Like, it's a mess. But I did finish The Grownup by Gillian Flynn, and it was really weird. I did like it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I didn't love it or anything, but I thought it was really interesting. The Grownup is about this psychic who is in like this shop where they also do like sexual favors for men, and it is a horror, and that's honestly all I can say about it. And there's a client that she has, and it kind of has to follow that journey. And again, it was really good. It was weird. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. So I finished that while I was at Target, and then I came back, started putting away the laundry and everything. But I did reading sprints with Sydney and a couple other people for her Patreon reading sprints, and I got 25% into Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, and I'm actually really liking it. I've never read a Tessa Bailey before, but I've heard great things, and I don't really like holiday romances that are like full-length books. If it's like over 150 pages, I generally don't like it. Or at least like I don't love it. It's just like, it's normally like a 3-star max for me, but I'm really liking this. So it's about our main character Stella, and she just recently got out of prison, and her dream job has always been to kind of do like the displays for fashion and do like window displays. And one day she's walking by this window display in New York City, like a month after she got out of prison, and she starts critiquing it. She doesn't really like it, and this man comes up to her and says that he works for the store, but she doesn't really know much about him, and he asks her opinion, and that ends up being our hero, Aiden. And he is actually the manager for the store, like one of the owners of the store. He is like, his family owns it, so he owns part of it, and he's the manager. So he kind of gets enthralled with her and tells her to apply to be the window store decorator because they want a new one because the display was so bad. She's like, I shouldn't apply. I literally have a prison record. I went to prison for like 4 or 5 years. I just got out. He's like, apply. And so she eventually does end up applying. And again, she does not know that he's the manager and that he's the one who would be hiring her. But he ends up hiring her on a trial basis. and she does the window decorating for them, and that's why it's called window shopping. But I love our heroine so much. This is a grumpy sunshine, and she is the grump and he's the sunshine, and I resonate with her grumpiness so much. Like, she resonates, like, stay away from me. She even refers to herself as like a goth girl, but I feel like it's not like too much. Like, you can tell it's genuine and it feels real, and not like she's just like a caricature, not, you know, like, not a character, but like a caricature. You know what I'm trying to say? But it doesn't feel like she is just like a stereotype of a character. She feels real and fleshed out, but like her grumpiness is so like, it just resonates with my soul. Like, I love it so much. I feel like I just resonate with her grumpiness a lot. And Aiden, I do really like him, but he is so sunshiny. So if you really do like sunshine characters, sunshine heroes, you will love him. I'm not like the biggest fan of sunshine heroes. I kind of like grumpy and grumpy. Like, I love them both, grumpy and angsty, you know, really giving that new adult high school bully romance. But I am still really liking him, and the reason that he is so sunshiny, we're starting to like understand him and why he's so sunshiny, and it's so sweet and I love it. But I can tell smut is coming. I can feel it. And he always wears bow ties, and that's part of like him being so kind and jolly and sunshiny. But he was like, don't let the bow tie fool you, Stella. I'm not always nice. When the situation calls for it, I can be downright rough. I was like, the smut is coming. The smut is coming. And I think this kind of has a little bit of like panic attack rep, because our heroine Stella, she has a panic attack in a sense, but it wasn't explicitly said to be a panic attack, but that's what it came across like to me, and I thought it was really good. I've had panic attacks before. I'm not like someone who gets them all the time, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is like interesting that that's in there. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I don't really have much else to update on. I'm gonna do my laundry, and I'm probably gonna watch this show called Inside Job, and I'm loving this show. I have to show it to you. I don't know why my computer screen looks like this. Like, you can see at the bottom, like, this is not the color of this. Like, it has like a weird rainbow effect. So this is a show though, Inside Job. My roommate told me about this. It's on Netflix. There's only 10 episodes out right now, but I love it. It has to do with like conspiracy theories, and conspiracy theories exist in this world, like all of them. But this is about a lady who works at the company that basically causes all the conspiracy theories, and it's so good. It's so funny. I don't even like animated funny shows, but this one and Bob's Burgers are the two that I've watched and really enjoyed. So I'm gonna probably watch a couple episodes of this while I put away laundry and just chill and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go put away that laundry now. Hi everybody, I forgot to update you guys yesterday like completely. I did film b-roll and you saw some of the stuff I was doing, but I don't think I updated you. And also my nose and just like this whole area is really irritated because yesterday I was having really bad allergies because I rearranged my bookshelves, which you guys saw a little bit of. I will like talk about it a little bit more because I wasn't able to film like the whole process because one, it was long, two, my camera died. So yeah, which is why I didn't really update you guys yesterday, because I did that and then I was fixing my nails, and then I did my live show where I did reading sprints with Cammie from Burrows and Books, and then her and I were on there. We invited Mikay after the live show and we just sat there and talked until almost 5 a.m. and I'm so tired. Like, I am not going to tell you guys what time I woke up. Right now it's 4:30. I've been up for a hot second, but I can literally see the sun setting. I was thinking about taking Bookstagram pictures today, but I would have to like come up with ideas of what I want to do, and I just don't have enough time with the lighting. So I might do that on Monday. Today's Saturday. Because tonight I'm going to plan out some videos and I'm going to film tomorrow, so I don't know if I have time to film with the lighting and do Bookstagram pictures, so I'm going to try and plan Bookstagram pictures tonight as well. I thought the window shopping live show was tonight, but it was actually yesterday, so I didn't have time to finish it, but I'm really still loving it. I am trying to see how far I am. I am 61% in and I'm really liking it. I want to hopefully finish this today, but I am really liking it. It's super cute, and I didn't think I would like cutesy, but it's just like the way that it's written, and it has like, it's more steamy and smutty than a lot of contemporary romances, and I really think that I'm gonna like Tessa Bailey's other work. There has not been like a full-on smut scene yet. We've had like sprinkles and like almost going there but not fully going there. We've had a good bit, but I've been really liking it, and I love the characters so much, and like figuring out why they are the way that they are. Like, I feel like the character development in here is amazing, and they have great chemistry and banter, and I just am loving it. And then you guys also saw that I started Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which is my reread. This is for the prompt. I probably already told you, but this is for the prompt cozy vibes. I feel like these books are really cozy to me, this series. I've already read it, so I kind of know, and I just think mysteries are cozy. I'm like just over halfway through, and I only have like 2 hours left of the audiobook, but I was listening to it on 2.7 times speed because that's what I was listening to Rock Paper Scissors on that speed, which is a little bit slower for me because I normally listen on 3 times speed because the narrator in Rock Paper Scissors was British. This one, even though this is a British series, they have British audiobooks and like American audiobooks, so I have the American one, so I'm gonna bump it up to 3 times speed, which is like an hour and 47 minutes. So I'm hoping to make good progress through both of these today, at least finish one. It is like almost 5 p.m. but I'll be up for a hot second. I actually am going to go in probably like an hour to my dorm because I think I forgot my lashes there, and I want to have lashes when I film tomorrow. I just love lashes. And then I also forgot my ice cream there, and I ordered like the 2 big cups of ice cream for my job, and my dad was like, if you don't get them, they'll probably get freezer burn because it's not a sealed container if I let it sit there for a month. So I'm just gonna go get that stuff today, which is like it'll be like 45-ish minutes of driving probably, and I might listen to my audiobook, but I'm like definitely like a music person when I'm driving, so I don't know if I'm gonna listen to the audio then. But yeah, so I'm basically just gonna be reading today and then planning some videos and Bookstagram pictures, and maybe working a little bit on I basically have a reading spreadsheet that I make every year, and I don't really have that many changes I want to make to it this year. I made a lot of changes last year because I think the first year I used it was 2019, and it's like a combination of like a couple people's reading spreadsheets and then just stuff I've done on my own. So I don't think I have that many changes that I want to make this year because I kind of added changes throughout the year, but I'm going to probably update it a little bit. I'm going to just show you guys my bookshelves a little bit. I don't know if I ever updated you guys that I did this a while ago, but this on this side and this side are all like more older young adult contemporary romances that I read or were really popular when I first joined BookTube. These are just some classics that are like not as pretty. This is like my pretty classics shelf. most of these did not change. Like all of this bookcase didn't change really, except I just added in the historical fictions that I brought with me to college. And then this is more historical fiction. These two shelves changed a lot. These are like historical romance and romantic suspense and Harlequin romances. Then my pretty classic shelves, and then these two are romances. And this romance shelf was not as big as it was the second one, but I put obviously on my book of the month ones. Normally I put my paranormal romances and fantasy romances on the other shelf, but then since this one's a book of the month one, I put it with the rest of them. So then these ones are all kind of like older romances. It's mostly Jennifer L. Armentrout, her contemporary romances, and Colleen Hoover. And then these are like other traditionally published romances, and then these are all indie published. I still have one I have to put on there. It's like right there. Welcome to the Dark Side. I have to like fit in here. And then so these are my YA thrillers and mysteries, and then these are just some of my book of the month ones, but most of my book of the month like thrillers and mysteries are on this shelf. There's a couple of them that aren't, like my copy of Survive the Night and Final Girls are not book of the month, but I just put them at the top there because the rest of my Riley Sager books are there. But these are all mostly all book of the month mysteries and thrillers. Like you can see the Silent Patient isn't either, but I put it there because the Maidens is. And then down here are just like a lot of my other like thrillers. Some of these, like these three, are more like sci-fi thrillers. I have like two of my hardcover Ruth Wares, and then on the side are my other two that I own by her that are in paperback. So these are paperback thrillers and mysteries, and then I have my three Karen Slaughters in the middle, and there's some room to add more Karen Slaughter. And then down here is like this is supposed to be mostly mystery shelf, but I have some thrillers that extended on to this shelf but I had some thrillers that extended onto the shelf with the rest of my mysteries. This is technically YA, but Tiffany D. Jackson deserves her own section, and then those are all like my cozy mysteries in the corner. And then down here's my horror. I wish I didn't have to put it at the bottom. I originally had it up here, and then I had this shelf down here, but it was bothering me how like my thrillers were separated, so I put it at the bottom. I changed this side a little bit. This is mostly like sci-fi, fantasy, and then like random art copies at the bottom that are like all really old art copies and like my graphic novels and stuff. So I mostly did not really change this shelf. This shelf I did change a little bit because I had a shelf right here of just a mishmash of sci-fi and fantasy books that I really loved, and I kind of got rid of that and put them in their designated sections. So I kind of took a lot of the fantasy that was on that shelf and I put it here. And then this is like obviously Sarah J. Maas and a lot of my fantasy romances. So this shelf was originally down here, but I put them next to each other. This is more fantasy romances and like paranormal romances. So they're like next to each other. And then this shelf is just more fantasy, which there's room to grow, and a little V.E. Schwab section. This is a little bit more like paranormal, but not necessarily paranormal romance. And then this didn't really change that much either. I just added Neil Shusterman books and my Illuminae series. That was originally on the shelf I told you about right here with my favorites, and I just moved it over here so it could be with the rest of my sci-fi and stuff like that. So that's what I did and my updates. I'm going to go now because my dad's home, so I'm going to go talk to him, and you probably hear him, but I will talk to you guys when I have an update. So remember how I told you guys I was gonna film today, like film videos for my YouTube channel? I decided not to. I woke up and I was like, no, not today. And it's actually not even Sunday anymore. It is technically Monday because it's like past 1 a.m. and I haven't talked to y'all all day, but I just didn't really feel like it, to be honest. And I was like, I feel like this vlog already has a lot of footage, so I feel like it'll be fine. First, before I give you guys an update, I forgot to show you guys a book that I got on Friday. Vina from Miss WOC Reader, Woman of Color Reader. She has a YouTube channel and she has a bookstagram. I don't know if she has a Twitter. I think she does. I'm pretty sure. I just don't really go on Twitter. She sent me a little Christmas gift and she sent me Real by Kennedy Ryan. And I'm so excited. This is the first Kennedy Ryan I physically own. And I'm really excited to get to it. I just know it's going to rip my heart out. And I'm just really excited to explore more of Kennedy Ryan's backlist. I think I might read one soon because I'm kind of in the mood to cry. So maybe we'll read a Kennedy Ryan soon. Thank you so much, Vina. I really appreciate it and I'm really excited to get to it and talk about it on this channel. And if you guys want to buy me a book, I do have my wish list link down below, but there's no pressure. But I do really appreciate it because I'm a broke college student. But to get into my reading updates, I've actually finished 2 books since I talked. I did finish Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey and I finished Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which I told you guys this was a reread. So Window Shopping was for the prompt dual perspective, but I absolutely adored Window Shopping. I gave it 5 stars. I know some other people that I know haven't given it as high of ratings. They've given it like 3, 4. And I don't know, I don't normally like fluffy contemporary romances, and I really have not liked that many full-length Christmas novels, but this one I loved. It's gonna be like the one that I recommend because I just adored it so much. I loved learning about their past. Like, they each have pasts. It's very Grumpy Sunshine, which I think I told you, but like there's a lot of reasoning and explanation behind both of them being Grumpy Sunshine, and I really just loved exploring their past, learning more about them. For it being so short, I feel like they packed in so much, and I liked learning about what it's like to like dress a window, and I just adored it so much. Like, I thought the conflict was perfect of why they weren't together and why it took so long for them to be together. It wasn't like miscommunication, which I hate. I feel like it made sense, and I just loved the characters. I loved the setting, and it wasn't too Christmassy. It was definitely Christmassy, but it wasn't too Christmassy, and I just adored it so much. So I actually finished that last night, about 24 hours ago, and then today I finished up Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. And this was a reread for me, as I told you guys, but I loved it on the second read. It was great, fantastic, didn't see it coming. So if you guys don't know what the first book is about, which I'd be surprised, especially if you were here on my channel last year, that was like my brand book. I love that book so much, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. But in that book, we follow Pip, obviously our main character, and this girl in her town would disappeared a couple years prior, and the boyfriend of the girl was found dead. And so everybody kind of just pinned it on the boyfriend and agreed collectively that it was him, and the family feels ostracized from the community because they all just kind of blame him. So she doesn't actually believe that's what happened and wants to investigate and find out the truth of what happened to this girl for a school project. It's like her senior final project, and she actually teams up with the brother of the boyfriend. And it is mixed media. Not only is it a school project, but she also starts a podcast, which makes it mixed media. And it has, like, even in the book, you can see there's like maps and stuff. And this is how the first one is as well. That's not a map, that's like a floor plan. And it has interviews, it just has case notes, it has different pictures, it has text messages, and this follows Pip again solving another disappearance that happened in her town after the previous book, and still has her podcast. But I feel like, I don't know, Holly Jackson just makes her books so digestible. Like I've read other thrillers recently, for example Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney, which I did really like. I gave it 4 stars. That book didn't intrigue me throughout the whole book. It didn't keep me wanting to read until like the very end, but like the beginning half of the book I really was just like whatever. This book, throughout the whole book, you're just wanting to pick it up. You just want to read it. The first book in this series and this book, the first time that I read both of them, it took me less than 24 hours. This one took me 2 days. Her books are just so readable, and I just want to keep reading. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's happening all the time. And I think that if you have not listened to the audiobook of these, the audiobook is phenomenal. It does the mixed media perfectly because she does a lot of interviews, and it sounds like a tape recorder. It sounds a little bit grainy, and like if they're on the phone, it sounds like they're on the phone. Like, it's just, I love the audiobooks of these. And Pip, I feel like Pip is really coming into her own in this book, and I feel like I connect with her even more in this book than before, because she's starting to feel the effects of what happened to her in the first novel, and she's feeling the trauma, and it's really impacting her. And I feel like it's making her more relatable to me, like especially like with her personality and how passionate and driven she's becoming. And I just love this book so much. And so that is 3 books down now, so I'm gonna check that off. We're actually doing good. We have a 4-star and 2 5-stars, and I haven't had that many really good books lately in the past few months, so I'm loving this. And I think next up I should probably choose a book that I haven't read, but since I reread this, I'm kind of in a rereading mood, and I really want to read Dear Ava because I loved that book and I wish I could remember it more like this one, so I'm going to reread it. I forgot that I actually made a book talk. It's like the only book talk that I have that's public for everybody, but it's a book aesthetic that I made for Dear Ava because I just loved it so much. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to turn down the volume though, which doesn't make it as good because I don't want to get copyrighted for the music, but I'm going to show it to you. This is my little profile. These videos are really old, but we're just gonna beat drop. And then it's just like all the pictures, and these have to do with like specific scenes in the book, like him fixing the car, the diner. It's kind of bringing it back to me, and I just saw this again because I have another TikTok account that's not my book talk, and I haven't been on my book talk in a while, so I decided to go on there because I feel like I do get a lot of recommendations from there. So I went on there and then I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, so now I really want to reread Dear Ava, so I'm gonna pick that one up next. And then besides that, I just have Grown on my TBR for purchase last year and never read, and then the only other prompt that I have left is Already Owned, and for that I'm just gonna kind of leave that up to mood reading. But the audiobook for Dear Ava, I know that I still own it. I'm probably going to start that tonight and hopefully finish it tomorrow, but I'm going to film tomorrow for sure. I'm actually kind of excited to film tomorrow. I'm really just chilling over break, but I do have more stuff coming up in the next like Wednesday for like a week. I have more plans to like see people, go out, but I just needed like a week to just chill and just do nothing. I can't believe it's almost been a week of break. Oh my god, please, I can't. But I'm gonna go because I've been rambling for 16 minutes and this vlog is gonna be hella long, but this is why I don't give you that many updates, because I know that I'm gonna talk hella. Okay, so I'm back. I lit some candles for you guys and some incense. I love incense so much. My mom hates it, but I love incense. I think it smells like so natural. I feel like sometimes candles are like so overwhelming, and I love candles. Obviously these ones are not scented candles, but like I'm talking about scented candles. I love scented candles like Bath & Body Works candles, but sometimes they're just too strong and I feel like I can't light them for that long because then the scent gets overwhelming, and then I'm just like. So today is Monday. I did film today. I told you guys I was gonna film today, and I did film today. I have an hour and a half left of Dear Ava as of now, about an hour and 24 minutes left on the speed that I'm listening to on 3 times speed, so it's literally like 4 hours, but I plan on finishing it tonight for sure. It's like 8 p.m. I like filmed, which took me till about 5, and then I had to come, then I had to put everything away, and then I chilled, and then I ate, and you know, just life things. So I have an hour and a half left. We'll definitely finish it tonight, and then I told you guys I'm going to be reading Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson for my next book, which is purchased last year and never read. Dear Ava's for enemies to lovers or unreliable narrator. It's more like enemies to lovers. Well, one thinks the other one is an enemy. So yes, I'm loving Dear Ava again. It is definitely one of my favorites of the year. I love it. You know, it is new adult. It is very angsty. It could be seen as cheesy. I know it's not going to be for everybody because again, it is a little bit angsty when the angst is making it border on cheesy, but I like my stuff angsty, so I am loving it. Again, it is a reread. So obviously we follow our main character Ava, and she is returning back to a private prep school that she goes to, but she hasn't been there in a year because at a party that a whole bunch of people were having, like a bonfire party that happened like a year prior, she got raped, and she doesn't remember who raped her because she was drunk, and nobody's really gonna help her because they kind of know that it was one of like the Sharks, and the Sharks are basically like the football team. They're like the mean guys, you know, the Sharks or whatever, you know, make them scary. But they know that it's basically one of the Sharks that did it, and the Sharks run the whole town. Ava is very poor and she is there on a scholarship. She takes care of her younger brother who has fetal alcohol syndrome, so she has a lot on her plate. And then all these rest of these kids are really rich. Their parents are like the mayors and they run the town, so nobody's really trying to help her figure out who raped her, and they don't even necessarily believe that she was raped, but she obviously doesn't remember it. So she's returning back to the school. Everybody hates her because they're like, you tattled on us about this party and then you're claiming that people did these things to you, and you know it did actually happen, but they're like, you liar. But then one of the sharks starts leaving letters in her locker being like, hey, I would never hurt you, I'm trying to help you. And then we also have this other character named Knox, and he is one of the sharks, and Ava hates the sharks obviously because they're like protecting someone who did something really bad to her. But Knox has a soft spot for Ava, and we don't really know why in the beginning, but we just know that he cares for her for no reason necessarily. And it's pretty clear who is writing the letters to Ava, like from the very beginning, but that doesn't really take away my enjoyment, and I'm just loving it. Like, I think it's just so angsty and cute, and I really think this book would not be what it is without the whole rape plot line. I think that adds a lot, and it has a lot of really important commentary. I think personally the commentary is done really well, and I think that's kind of what makes me like it so much more. Like, trust me, like, I love Punk 57. Like, this and Punk 57 are kind of giving similar vibes, but I feel like this one deals with important topics like poverty, dealing with all this stuff on your plate, like taking care of your brother, your mom who abandoned you, trying to come back into your life, being raped. Like, it deals with all of that. Well, Punk 57 is amazing, but it doesn't have much to it. It does a little bit, but not completely. But so I'm really liking it. I'm definitely gonna finish it tonight. And then I told you guys that I was gonna read Grown next for bought last year and never read. So I already put a bookmark in it, but I put it in the back because I was carrying a lot of stuff. But this is the one I'm gonna start next, and this is like my most anticipated Tiffany D. Jackson. I've read 3 of her 5 books now, and this will be my 4th one. So I'm almost completed a whole author's backlist, which makes me excited. Even though it's only 5 books, it still makes me excited. I really, really want to read fantasy right now, but I don't want to start a fantasy book for this. Like, I want to try and complete all the prompts, and then I'll read a fantasy book after this readathon. There's only 2 days left after today, so I wanted to choose a book that I know I could finish, and that is Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibbson. I know this book is going to be amazing, and it's still kind of giving the vibes that I'm looking for. Like, I'm really like wanting to read fantasy, maybe a little bit of thrillers with like historical fiction as well. I love historical fiction mystery, specifically like Stalking Jack the Ripper, and this one is a little bit of like historical, I think, with romance, and it's like horror, so I think it's gonna give the vibes. And the audiobook for this I actually have checked out from Hoopla, and I didn't know that I did that because I checked out a whole bunch of stuff on Hoopla because I never check out anything, and the audiobook is only 5 hours. But I probably will listen to this one a little bit slower just because I know the writing is beautiful. I already know it's stunning. I know it's gonna have a lot of stuff woven into the story, so I'll probably listen to it slower than I normally do, but it still will not take me that long. It'll take me 5 hours on 1 speed, and I would never listen to it on 1 speed. But after this readathon, I don't know what I'm gonna read, and it's exciting. I have different books checked out, so we'll just see what I get to. But I am going to go read Dear Ava, because that book, it just fills my soul. Like, I think it's really the angst. Like, I know people do not like angst, but I love angst. Like, I don't really like fluff. I like angst, okay? I like fluff that comes after angst. The angst literally just like melts my heart, and I just love it. Like, I know that's like not popular opinion, I don't think. Like, everybody's like contemporaries, and then everybody's like, F those new adults, F those bully high school romances, F high school. And I get it, because like most of them, I'm not trying to say that they're old, most of them are like out of that kind of time period. I'm still in that time period. I just graduated high school, I'm in college. This is prime new adult angst, okay? This is prime new adult angst. So you know what, I'm gonna enjoy my prime new adult angst while I still can. Maybe in a couple years I'll feel like I'm too old for it, so I'm gonna enjoy it while I'm in it, you know? Anyways, I'm gonna go read. why my face kind of looks red and my hair's so puffy because I didn't do anything. But today's Tuesday. It is the second to last day of the readathon, so today and tomorrow, and I haven't done anything yet. It's 4 p.m., which I feel like is like the time that I normally come to you guys. And I also was trying to decide between which of these I should read, and the reason why I kind of was making a big decision is because I've read 99 books so far this year, so whichever one I read of these is going to be my 100th book of the year, so I would like it to be a banger, you know? But I feel like both these kind of have similar themes of like abusive relationships. This one's more grooming, this one's more like obsessive. I didn't know this was about one of Dracula's brides, but it is, which makes it that much more interesting. But I put up a poll a couple hours ago asking people which one of these I should read first so that it would be my 100th book, and I wanted to let it sit for a couple hours before I actually decided, so I'm going to check it right now. I put it up 4 hours ago, and at first I know Dowry was winning a lot, and it's still winning. It is winning by 57%, Grown is 43%. So I'm gonna read that, and I don't know if I told you guys, but this copy of this book was sent to me by Sarah from Sarah Shelves, so thank you, Sarah. And this one actually might have been sent to me by someone as well. Yes, Jackie from her channel is just Jacqueline with spaces, Jacqueline Wheeler. She sent this to me for my 18th birthday. I would have gotten to it earlier because this is my most anticipated Tiffany D. Jackson, but I was reading them on publication order. So I'm going to read Dowry of Blood. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I completely forgot to say that I finished Dear Ava. I really forgot that I didn't tell you guys I finished Dear Ava last night, but I finished Dear Ava as well. It was obviously 5-star. I was telling you guys I was loving it. It just resonates with my soul so much. It's so angsty, but it resonates with me, and I just love that book, so obviously I gave it 5 stars. It's definitely for sure one of my favorites of the year, like no doubt about it. And you know what, I feel like one of these might be on my favorites of the year, and I'm okay with that. I feel like I have like 1 or 2 books I'd be okay with kicking off, so we'll see if one of them is a favorite. I want to edit a little bit today as well later. I really just don't like editing, so I'm kind of putting it off. But I need to edit today because tomorrow I'm going to go out with my friend. Thursday I'm going to go to my sister's house, and then I have therapy. Tomorrow probably will be able to do a bit, but not as much on Thursday. So I'm going to get reading, and I will talk to you guys when I have an update.
I'm so sorry this whole clip is out of focus. My camera is a stupid dum-dum.
So I'm back. This vlog, I thought about scrapping it because I feel like I always start off reading vlogs so strong and I do the b-roll, but by the end I don't even update every day and it's messy. I feel like week reading vlogs are just not it for me. I feel like I need to do shorter than a week for it to work out well. I did not update yesterday, the last day of the readathon, because I went out with my friend, and I really, when I started driving out of the parking lot, I was like, I didn't film any b-roll. Like, I literally didn't even show you guys I have a life, because y'all really think that my life is just being stuck in this room, but I promise you it's not. I have been going out places a little bit, but I just didn't film when I was there. But I thought I would just do a little wrap up of like what I read and tell you guys the 2 other things that I was reading. So I did finish A Dowry of Blood, and I gave it 5 stars, and I feel like I don't have the strong, like overwhelming, like sense of love that I know a lot of my friends do, but it was really relatable, and I feel like it's a story that I could read over and over and over and over again. Like, I literally started to reread it again, and I feel like that urge is already kind of makes it a 5-star, and I did really like it. I just don't have like, let me protect this book at all costs, which I normally do. So maybe it's not a 5-star, but I really liked it, so I'm gonna sit on it. I feel like it's one of those books that could grow on me, and it could potentially become like that, so I do want to sit on it a little bit because I'm debating on whether to put it on my favorites list, because again, I loved it and I feel like I could reread it so much, and it was very relatable. And for A Dowry of Blood, I do recommend not just listening to the audiobook. I didn't do that. Like, I just like to have the audio for books whenever I'm reading along, because I'm an auditory learner, so that's what I was doing while I was reading along, and that's what I do for a lot of my books. I still just like to get the audiobooks because I read actually quite slow, and I'm an auditory learner. Like, I have to go back and reread stuff a lot because I get so distracted with my eyes. That's why I need the audiobook, because it helps keep me on track. And if I do look away for a second, I'm fine. It's even like with TV shows, I normally don't pause the computer if I go up to get something, or if I get distracted, or if I look at my phone. So that's why this is like controversial, I guess. With anime, I normally watch dub and not sub, because with sub, if you're not looking at the screen, you're not reading the words, you don't know what's going on. I need my shows to be able for me to look away for 2 seconds and me not miss everything. So that is why I normally listen in dub, and that's why I normally read along with audiobooks. And then I could have finished Grown last night if I wanted to, but I decided not to. I did get 57% of the way through it. It's actually sitting right over here, but I'm too lazy to get it. But I did get 57% of the way through it. But Grown, I'm really liking so far. I feel like it has been subtle in some ways and not subtle in other ways. Definitely pretty intense trigger warnings for both books, for like abusive, toxic relationships, manipulation. In Dowry of Blood, the way that he controlled them more was by like locking them in the house and like being like the sole provider for them and not letting them go out for centuries. I feel like Dowry of Blood, it's more subtle for sure. Besides him just locking him in the house, he will have moments or moods where he'll have an outburst and then they'll get upset, and then he'll immediately switch to like being sweet, and that is something that is very subtle that the abusers do. But in Grown, he is more obvious, like locking her in a closet for hours and she has to pee in a bucket for like 17 plus hours. But it just makes me feel so icky. I really don't want to get into it, but I feel like I know a bit about these types of situations, and it's just really icky to see her trying to justify it. And it's obviously not her fault, she's so young. It's him that's icky, but like seeing her trying to justify their relationship, and that, you know, her parents have a 7-year age gap, so them having an 11-year age gap is not that big of a deal or whatever. And it's just it's gross, it's nasty. But yeah, I know this vlog at the end got really trash, and I'm sorry about that. I need to get better at just like staying consistent, because I was like, oh, I'm just ready to start a new vlog, I'm ready to do it again. But at the end, I always fall off if it's like more than like 3-4 days long, and I don't know what that's about. But maybe I just need to start doing vlogs that are like 3-4 days long and not like readathon vlogs or weekly vlogs. But that's all that I have for this video today. I would love to talk to you guys in the comments about any of these books, what you read for the readathon, and I would also like to connect with you guys on other social media, which will be linked down below in the description box. But again, that's all that I have for this video today, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, everybody!